Brian about Boston Sports Journal. Brad, it looked like Kyrie played the whole second half of there. Another tough shooting effort. Do you feel like he kind of ran out of gas towards the end there? Or how do you kind of assess this one?
I actually looked pretty good going to the basket there late. He had one rim out. He had a couple of others that he made. So, it's that time of the year where you've been building up towards that. And, I thought obviously by then we were playing from behind pretty good. So I think he'd probably tell you can play through it.
Brad, Gary Washington, Boston Globe. You win game one, you look good. In the last three games, you just can't seem to figure them out. What do you say in terms of what's happened over the last week?
Yeah, it really boils down to these runs. You had the one at the end of the third this time, and then we made a nice run to get back in it, and then they just answered it right back. So we're playing well for a lot of the game in the last two games, and then letting go of it, especially on the defensive end of the floor. They had 27 points with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, and they finished with 113. So that's without doing much math, I feel like that's 84 in the last 32 minutes. That's going to get you beat a lot.
Brad, John Corrales, MassLive.com. In the first half, it seemed like you were getting those attacks and second attacks that you were talking about. In the second half, it was a lot of jumpers, a lot of threes. What happened there, and why couldn't
some really good? There were some really good ones.
There were open ones, but
and there were a couple that weren't quite, were rushed a little bit. But one of the things I thought in the first half, we actually over-attacked on a couple of those. We had a shot, or we had a play to the rim, and we were looking to spray it. We had a great mindset about us playing that way in the first half, and we missed some really good looks. And then in the second half, obviously, when you're trying to come back, I thought we tried to hit home runs on a couple of plays, but I thought we got a lot of good, threes. Some of the other ones are tougher, when we're challenged in the paint and those type of things. But I thought we did a pretty good job of finding the right shot most of the night. But certainly those runs, you can look back and say those have gotten us, and those have usually included a lot of errors on both sides.
Coach, you guys are playing hard, and they're a very good team. Just like what Gary was asking about losing 3 straight games. Psychologically, what's the challenge to stay in it now?
Yeah, it's win or go home. You do the same thing you've been doing all along. You play the next possession to win it, and that's it. You focus on that. It takes a lot of mental fortitude. It takes a lot of mental toughness, and it reveals a lot. And so, I'm looking forward to that challenge. We don't want to be in this position, but we are. And, we've got to go to Milwaukee and do everything we can to give ourselves another chance to play here on Friday night.
Brad, John Corrales, Mass Live. Can you explain the off-ball switches that got Kyrie onto Giannis? Because that seemed to happen often, and he would get the ball, and it seemed like he punished those.
I thought that we did a really good job early in our matchups and such, and I thought that we waned a little late. He had not attacked the guard switch as much in the middle of the floor as he did tonight. In fact, he had passed it in almost every occasion up to this point, but we got on the side too much. And when you're isolated on the side with a guard, that's when he really goes to work in the post, and then he did drive it on our other guards a couple of times as well. So, long story short, some of those were things that we need to do a better job covering once the drive occurs, and some of those we need to avoid altogether.
Right, Gary Washington again. The third quarter, Giannis and Middleton both had foul trouble.
Yeah, that was killer.
And Milwaukee builds on the lead.
Yep.
Is their bench just basically outplaying your bench? It seemed like the lack of your bench is putting more pressure on the starters.
We had a lot of guys on the court at that time. I think their bench is just playing excellent. It's not bench versus stars, whatever you want to call it. Their bench comes in, they've had no drop off. They've been excellent. Connaughton's been excellent. George Hill's been absolutely tremendous. hats off to them, and we need to all play better on Wednesday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.